Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that concern the state, void of politics, fear, or favor. Today, I want us to talk about healing in borrowed spaces. At the Emergency Operations Center in Pantine, disease control officers monitor screens tracking infectious disease across the region. With surveillance system in place, Director General of Ghana Health Service believes the country is well positioned to respond to emerging threats, but preparedness goes beyond system. In many community and district hospitals, there are no dedicated spaces to manage infectious disease during outbreak. In several districts where infectious disease centers are needed, contractors have abandoned projects. In other areas, completed facilities remain non-functional due to lack of equipment. At the Baptist Medical Center in Nalerigu, in the Northeast region, patients with different infections are often treated in the same space. Tuberculosis, COVID-19, and monkeypox cases share the same ward, increasing the risk of cross-infection. The room was originally meant for tuberculosis cases, but changing disease patterns have stretched its use. At the Eastern Regional Hospital, an improvised holding bay created during COVID-19 serves as the main facility. It has an 11-bed capacity formed by merging existing units. For disease control officers, managing multiple infections in a single space poses a constant challenge. It increases the risk to both patients and health workers. This became evident during early monkeypox cases in the region, as officials struggled to manage infections within limited spaces. Now, data from the Ghana Health Service shows that in September last year, 547 epidemic-prone diseases were recorded across 261 districts. Influenza-like illness and severe acute respiratory infections were the most common, followed by monkeypox and COVID-19. As of January 18, 2026, Ghana recorded 980 confirmed monkeypox cases. Despite the risk, 50 million infectious disease treatment center in Nalerigu, which started during the COVID-19 pandemic, has stalled. The contract was awarded in 2020 with 40.5 million paid upfront. 6 years later, only about 10% of the work has been completed. The site remains at the foundation level, overgrown with weeds and stagnant water. The situation is similar in other regions. In the Western region, a 30-bed infectious disease center has been abandoned. At the Fiankwanta Hospital, a 16-bed facility is stretched beyond capacity. During surgeries, tents are erected to manage patients, and it's continued from one page to the other. So what does it mean when we say healing in borrowed spaces? Now let me break it down for you. When we talk about a hospital or a health facility, when you go to the hospital and then you complain of being sick from an illness, there is a ward where you will be admitted or you will be treated. They don't clump all patients with different illness in one room. This is because some of these diseases are contagious. They can be easily spread, especially when we take illness that involves respiratory disorders and stuffs. Some illness like catarrh, some skin rashes issues. Those are illness that can be easily transferable. Now, what they are saying is that when we take 50% or 5% of the region we have from the 16 regions, hospitals are being forced to clamp patients with different illness in one room for treatment. So a patient comes with a case of tuberculosis. Someone also comes in with a different illness. And because they have limited space, and so they are being forced to treat all these patients in one room, which is not safe. You might end up being treated, but by the time you leave, you would, in a way unknown to you, contract a different illness from another patient. And they are saying this is a major challenge. The northern region, the western region, and in some parts of other regions in the country. Now, the most serious aspect of this issue is that in some region, they started with a project, and that project has to do with building a facility. Some is a 16 bed facility for patients with illness like this. Some has to do with 30 and so on. And some of this project was near completion, and then it came to a halt. With other projects, the money has been allocated for that project, like 4.5 million. That is that one project in Nalerigu. And as for that, the money has been allocated, but the whole facility they are supposed to build is still at the foundation level. What they've used that money for, no one knows. And this is a major concern. This is something that we don't need to take so lightly. The hospital is big, yes. But when we are talking about health, it is very critical. And then when you go to other region, they have a center that has been designated for COVID. When COVID came and then we had issues here and then, some hospitals or the government helped in building centers, COVID centers in most of the hospital. As it stands now, those centers has been converted and is being used as a ward to treat patients, not only one patient. It's being used to treat uncountable patients with different illness. And when you look at this issue, are you going to the hospital to treat yourself, or you are going to the hospital to take in more illness with you, or to go back home with virus and infectious diseases? If this is not important, I'm not sure they will talk about it. So it has to do with you being held in a borrowed space. The space where you are being treated is not where you are supposed to be. And this is a call of concern. And that is why we are saying that we need to build more health facilities. And even the hospitals, we think they are the pro hospitals, they have more spaces, they are being forced to take in more. Every hospital has its limit. No matter how big the hospital looks, no matter how good the hospital is, and no matter how people are talking about this hospital, oh, hospital there is very, very good. You get healed immediately you get there. It has its limit. Even if they have larger space, that space as you see it has its limit. Maybe that space can take only 30 people. And I feel like a ward where you'll be admitted in shouldn't be crowded. Maybe 5. And you see, that is one thing I like about the Western world. I know we've all been watching movies and all that. If you watch those movies and they are being admitted in hospital, I've never seen a hospital where they are like 2 in a room. It is 1. That is what I have seen. But when you come to my country, Ghana, where we claim we have everything, they packed you like sardine in one room. And this has really got me to understand the reason why sometimes you go to hospital for treatment and then you come back home and you are still sick. Why won't you be sick? Because the right thing is not being done. And sometimes one way or the other, we end up blaming these health practitioners. But that is not their duty. That is not their responsibility. Their duty is to ensure that these patients are properly taken care of. But what can they do if the space in which they are supposed to treat this patient is not available? And they're supposed to pack them in one room for treatment. This is bad. Very, very bad. And it is ongoing. It is going on. And as it stands now, it has become so tensed that we need to do something about it. The hospitals that are being built and are near completion, what is preventing us from completing it? And the ones that money has been allocated for and is nowhere to be found, where is the money? The money needs to be retrieved because this is the life of people we are talking about. And so please, we are pleading. Health issue is not something that we should take lightly. Trust me. It's not something that we should take lightly. The hospital that has been abandoned, let's complete it. In as much as it was a government that started, it is our money, taxpayers' money. It is not a money that was taken out of the personal pockets of the government. It is our own money. Let's complete it for our own benefit. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.